And we're live. We're not live. I'm recording. Anyways, welcome to Motiv8 M8. I'm just going to go through a quick this is going to be. This is going to be like a top to bottom tour of this mini-SaaS we created for the competition. This is our homepage. It's undergone a few iterations. It's obviously far from perfect. We used Card. Per Jack's recommendation, we used Card. And we basically had AI help us build a little blurb here advertising what it is. This retail value is actual estimate of its value. I mean, what's it really worth? It's worth whatever it's worth to you, but it is an actual estimate of its value based on the reports you get and the call. The pricing, like whatever, it's a soft launch. We don't know what the pricing really should be yet. This video is created by Tara, depending on how you pronounce her name, and it's done with AI.
Crushing deadlines and boosting productivity.
It uses a clone of her voice, which is great. So there's a little blurb here that tells you what you're going to, gives you like a little heads up, right? That you're going to be getting a call right away. We don't have a scheduling system built in yet. It would be obviously something we add in the future. We try to put here just the basic information we need to make it quick to use and practical. We just need their name, obviously their email, so they get the reports, their phone number. The whole system is keyed on their phone number. It's very simple in that sense. Like returning calls, if you put the same phone number, it knows who you are based on your phone number. For your challenges here, it will function with basic, like small things, like you could say, ask me on the call, and it will function fine. And then coupon code, obviously there's a coupon code out right now for 50% off during this phase, this soft launch. That's the tour of the page. Oh, we added, we have some recommendations, some more notes, like the call is recorded. It is AI. There's a cool logo that moves, made by Tara. Sports question refunds. And there's a mini demo that Tara did for us. And then the terms, conditions, privacy policy, she set up a separate page. This used to be all in one page. And she set this up. Okay, so that's a quick tour of that. To manage the project together, we use Trello. Trello is something I've used in other projects because it's very easy to use. Super easy to use. It's a visual. It has a lot of functionality. It's quite impressed actually, for considering how simple it is. And we have this, just try to keep it organized. We have the focus right now is a launch, a soft launch. We have a to-do list. Like for example, here, we basically had here Jack's contest set up. And as we go along, we just basically chopping out things that we don't need anymore, like the past. Like we don't need the first 4 weeks because we're pretty much ending the 4th week very soon. But we keep track of the end date. And then we have a to-do list. We try to get things done. Notes here is mostly me just making a mess. This is when we try to figure out, okay, because I know a lot of people are in America and England, and I'm in Israel, and my teammates are in Australia. So we try to figure out a time to launch, and it was a little bit of a disaster in a sense, because like that was too early for them because of their work schedule, and this is too late for me because I'm just so tired. Tara put this together. It's very cool. It's like she basically fed a bunch of the project information to a custom GPT for us to play with. Let's see, we have coupon codes like to hand out if we need to. Our finances are right here. Like it's a bit, like we try to keep track of expensive stuff, the things we've spent. Don't ask how much we've spent. I mean, I guess maybe you'll see a little bit of that. It's for the sake of learning, but the amount we spent on testing calls, and I really messed up at one point. I was like, I wanted to try to test the threshold. Like, how many calls can this handle at once on one phone number, on one affiliate line? And so I was like, I'll just set up a bunch of assistants to answer the calls, and then and so I had a bunch of AIs calling, or one AI calling a bunch of other AIs, like 6 of them and just for calling them over and over again. And I ended up spending a couple $100 in like 20 minutes. You learn a lot though, right? This is, we signed an agreement at the beginning. And this is something that people talked about. We just wanted a good nature thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like you throw 3 strangers together and, like, what do you do? Like 6 weeks. And like, but if we make a bunch of money, but if we cost us a bunch of money, like, what do you do? So we just tried to have a theme. AI helped us write this. It's like just equal cost and profit sharing. We have to be understanding that different people have different ability to contribute time, you know, good faith, decision making. We've had no issues, you know. Thankfully, everybody's doing the best they can, and there's, you know, it just works out, I guess, because I guess it's good that we started with like, here, we'll sign this. It's good. We're talking about good faith from the beginning, and yeah, let's work together to get through this. We had a kickoff meeting. We had another meeting. I think the notes are somewhere here for the second meeting, and we're supposed to have a third meeting soon, I believe. We kept all of different things we made for media. You put right here, like different images. And I know Tara's working on other commercials. Matter of fact, I'll hop over there real quick. So she started a channel for us. And see, this is all like, this is not all AI. Like, she made this video where she's showing off custom GPTs. She thought that'd be a value in general to the community. And just making like sort of commercials, releasing them, trying to get some attention. You know, it's supposed to be our channel. Oh yeah, so about finances. So we actually just used Claude. I was like, hey, the whole artifact, people are raving about the whole artifact feature. Let's try it out. I was like, hey, Claude, here's our finances. Make a budget. And it made a budget and estimates and stuff like that. I was like, okay, so turn it into a graph. I was like, sure, here you go. And so it did a phenomenal job. It really did. You right here, you could put the number of calls. Like if you put a 0, it obviously messes up the math. But you can see what's going on visually. Like if we only sell 1 call, in order to break even, we have to, right now, the way it's set up, we have to sell the call for $119. So let's say, so far we've sold, I think 5 calls. So 5 calls in order to make money, and we're charging 25 with the coupon right now. So we're not making money yet. And we have to sell at least 1 more call, I think, right? 6. Yeah. We have to sell 6 calls a month to make sure we break even at the way it's set up right now. We're assuming there's assumption of 10 minutes per call. So we save, if the call lasts less on average, we save a little money. Also, this is the real cost if you were to set it up, as far as setting it up without discounts. Now, I happen to be a nonprofit. So this Google Workspace is actually 0 for us. And Twilio is, so it looks like I put the real price of Twilio right there for me. So Twilio is cheaper for me. I get like 25% off. So we spend a little bit less. I give you a quick tour of this. Oh yeah, so we have our to-do list for each individual. This Tara's, mine, and Rob's. We have sort of other things that we have to fix, but we kind of put a little bit to the side. The whole idea of working together on these platforms when they're not really designed to have people working on the same thing. It's not like a version control. It's not like Git and stuff like that. So if you're working on the same scenario, it's really problematic. It's super problematic without like a version control. Even working on the same Airtable has caused us some serious issues because unless you're really good about passing back and forth, oh yeah, I just did this, and this is why I did this. It's really tricky. It's much easier to be a coder and work with a version control system. So we put all our backups here, and we actually have more backups in other places. And then anything that like we're done with, we throw into this done column right here. Just do we have it for future? I showed you the artifact, really cool, right? You could do some cool stuff with this with Claude, play around. If we sell 30 calls a month, we need to charge $9 to break even. Okay, this is our Airtable. I can't show you guys these tables, right? Because this has our clients, and this is like this is the main database. There should only be one entry for each client based on their phone number. So if they have multiple phone numbers, they will have multiple entries in there, and it could cause, unless they're keeping track themselves, it'll cause issues. Submission data is what is submitted. As far as the form, there's two ways to enter data here. It's through a form, like purchasing the service. And there's two ways to enter data here in call data. Call data is what happens at the end of call. It's actually end of call data. And there's two ways to go in here. Through a finished call. On VAPI, when it finishes calls, it sends a report to you through a webhook. And we could get information here from there, or like submission data, we could enter it manually here. Now you're saying, hey, I see that website right there. I could just grab that and start running this stuff for free. So cool thing about Airtable is you could set up forms that are locked unless you're logged into your Airtable account and you have access to that data, that table, right? So the only way you can see these two forms right here is if you have access to this table, or these tables, this base. So yeah, this is a way to handle customer service for the others. So they have to deal with going into these scenarios and try to navigate the scenarios, because we have 4 now. So it's an easy way for them to like hop in here and just like, oh, I want to put somebody through real quick, or they want to, you want to use it yourself. Like, here, I want to put myself in and get a coaching call real quick because I'm tired, man. I'm sleepy. I need motivation. So I'll just have it call me real quick. Or let's say I want to generate a report and I don't want to go through a call. So I could use this and then just put in a fake transcript, or ignore that and just put in a summary of what I would have talked about instead of actually talking. You can leave these blank, click submit, and it'll create the reports for you. VAPI, see, this is not even, this is just a percentage. This is the past month, but we spent more than this. Yes. I mean, look at that, 543 minutes, number of calls. I don't know, you can show you the other accounts, embarrassing, because it might mess up. Oh, just have a bunch of AIs call a bunch of other AIs and just not monitor it. It went nuts. It was sort of funny too. So we'll go over real quick the scenarios. This is obviously, we're using Tally is much cheaper. They only take 5%. Paperform is killing us. If you look over here, it's killing us. It's, look at that. Paperform, boom. Look at our budget. And right now we could take this out, right? So Airtable would be the highest expense if we didn't have Paperform. So that's the thing. I love Paperform. Like it's so easy to use. It's visually great. It's like, it's just, but the price, the price. Anyways, yeah, so this is where it comes up. The call would come in normally. There's all sorts of issues you run into when you're dealing with these things. If you wanted to key in on the right number, then you have to have the same format it's saved every time. Also, if it's not in the right format, maybe the call for VAPI API won't work, right? So we try to be explicit on the form, right? You see, if you go on the form, you'll see that we try to like really spell it out so people don't mess up, and people mess up anyways, humans. I know I'm a human and I mess up. Right here, right? So make sure you put it in this format, please. But so you have to try to cover for people messing up. And so that's what this is doing. It's trying to like, okay, please, it's just like, it's this long thing to please, here's a bunch of examples. Don't do that. Like, please, AI, please, turn the temperature down. And here's a format that's going to work for us. Please, please. So it's, prompt engineering is a big thing if you want to make AI work for you in this sort of manner. Also another problem, if you're passing things through to anything. Oh, I just showed you something you shouldn't say. Whatever. Hopefully you didn't copy that, right? So yeah, if you're passing things through these quotes, right? You have these quotes right here. And if you put things here and the quotes that include, like, I think that there's problematic characters, this might be an issue. That for sure is an issue. You cannot put quotes in there. If you do, for sure the thing will mess up. The JSON, it's gonna break on you. So you have to make sure people aren't throwing quotes in their in the form here. You have to clean that up. Also, like, you should put like a character limit here. I forget whether I put a character limit here, but you should put a character limit here because people could go nuts. I mean, yeah, people just, I've had somebody write an essay in there. I mean, yeah, have at it, right? But yeah, so you have to worry about these type of things, and then you can save it. We save that in the submission data, and then we send it off to initiate the call. Alternatively, if you go through the form here, it'll skip that, and it'll just right here, it'll initiate the call from here. It'll send it from Airtable. And here's this is to initiate a call. All sorts of things like, I don't know, I don't want to bore you with all this stuff. I guess like an interesting thing here is our call center. Now, from my expensive research, it seems to be clear. Now, they say it's 10 outgoing calls at once, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I've had other people say 5, and 5 seems to be the number. So how do you handle that? Like, let's say this hopeful thinking, but let's say I have 10 people that want to book their coaching call right away. We don't have to wait to schedule it right now at this stage, this early. I'm not sure how complicated that'd be. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyways, so what if we have 10 people that submit a form, they all pay for their call at the same time. So we jerry-rigged the system here, the call center here. And I can't show you that because it has basically what it is right now I have 3 VAPI accounts, and they each have an API key, and it rotates. Each call switches to another account, and it gives the API key to this. Like, we pull up the API key and then we put it into the variables, and we could add a bunch of variables here. Like, as this product would advance, you would basically extract everything into variables, and then once they're in variables, you could even add it over here, right? So you could pick who your voice is, who your coach is, as far as their name. Whenever you could put whatever you want as far as extracting variables, and add the versatility to the tool if you want. So yeah, the call center is interesting, and we have to handle new clients versus returning clients, and it is different. All right, we have to make sure input with the returning clients. We have to take their old record, like their previous report, and sort of combine it with whatever they're putting in their goals now, and then use that information to direct a call. So a new call has a different instructions than a returning client call. It's all stuff that has to be tweaked. Things you can improve. There's a lot of stuff we can improve as far as the call itself. So yeah. And if you have a natural call, like a call that goes through a system in a natural way and doesn't have any issues, it will create an end of call report of some sort, either a status report or end of call report. And since we have to send it over through HTTP, we have to worry about different things like causing issues through the webhook as far as formatting, and I don't know if length is an issue, but as far as formatting is a big thing. Yeah, and so once we have that information, we're going to send it forward to generate the report, right? If we do a manual, we skip all this if it's manual, right? If we want to just like do a generate report ourselves right here, we want to do something right here, then it skips that. It'll skip this whole thing and it'll jump over here. And this is, I guess, the report engine, you'd call it. And it's not done, because you have to handle busy calls, you have to handle answering machines, you have to handle calls that have like inadequate information to actually generate a meaningful report. There's all sorts of scenarios you can think of, I imagine, too, like just off the top of my head. So there's different things going on here. This video is already running long, 19 minutes. Oh gosh. Okay. So let's finish this up. So yeah, you get the gist of it though. We have to handle returning clients. We have to handle initial consults. We have to handle different scenarios as far as the call itself. There's all sorts of ways to generate the report and format and stuff that we played with. And it's very this is very rough right now. It's definitely I wouldn't call this even a beta, honestly. But it's moving towards the direction of being very portable as far as because these are assistants, right? So all you have to do is, if you want to change the system, and see, we have 7 assistants so far. we would just swap the assistants out. That's all you have to do is just swap the assistants of those modules right there. You'd have to change these two, which I've modularized out right here. This is the content section modularized out. So you could turn those into variables, and then this is the actual instructions I had separated out, right? So then you would just, if you want to turn this from a coaching system to a, I don't know, keeping track of somebody with actually I don't want to say this because it might be somebody's idea and I don't want to, they shared with me, so I don't want to say it, but there's different use cases you can imagine. You know, if you have a system where it's calling out to people, they could, there's all sorts of scenarios, like, you know, just even like in the system, in the school system, I was just talking to somebody on the forums, and they were saying, you know, like, how do we follow up with people? It'd be kind of cool, right? Like if you had somebody who's not involved in a community and they got a phone call, you know, a trained phone call, say, hey, what's up? You know, I just want to tell you about some of the stuff we're offering in our community. And, you know, I could set you up for an appointment to talk to this person. I could schedule for an onboarding, So there's a lot of use cases for these type of systems. But yeah, so that's the tour, and appreciate everybody's support, and thank you, and please subscribe now to, but I don't know, I have nothing to subscribe to. All right, take care, everybody.